Well, as we already know, marriage is difficult as it is. And so one of the key things, there are three main things that married couples tend to fight about over and over again historically through all of time. Number one is finance and money. It's a struggle. So the key thing is make sure that you've talked about finance and money and budgeting before you get married. But if you didn't, after you get married, it's critical to have ongoing conversations regarding finance. If not, it's going to be an area of key struggle. So I want to share some ideas and some concepts that will help you talk about these things and be prepared for the money struggles in marriage. The first thing would be vow to be financially honest. Now, the stat may be a little bit overwhelming, but it's estimated that 44% of all Americans keep secrets regarding their money. Maybe a secret account, maybe it's cash that you spend so it doesn't show up somewhere. But when you're keeping secrets, that's going to rear its ugly head later and become a problem. So make sure that you've vowed to be honest. Now, you may have a unique situation. It could be a second marriage or a third marriage. Maybe you each have children from previous marriages. And that's okay to talk about having separate accounts. Maybe you have different accounts, different plans, some of the kids' colleges and that sort of thing. But the key is to make sure that you are discussing those things and not keeping that hidden from your partner. Second thing is vow to plan together. One of the exciting things about marriage and relationship is planning for the future. So your future vacation, where is it that you want to go this next year? How is it that you want to spend your retirement? Are you going to move to a different destination retirement location like Florida or Arizona? Also, are you going to be charitably inclined in the future? These are all important things that aren't going to just happen on their own. So make sure that you're discussing these things together and talking about your finances openly. The third thing would be always vow to communicate. Now, we talked about earlier, the problem is a lot of people keep secrets from each other. The two biggest issues, two of the three, are financial planning, not talking about it, not dealing with it, struggles with money, and the other one's communication. And a lot of the times it's communication about those struggles with money. We don't talk about our finance, and it's critically important to do that. So have a very open relationship communicating what your goals are, what your expectations are, talking about your budget, doing your dreaming together about your current financial situation and also your financial future. And then the last thing is, and this one's critically important, vow to protect your family financially. It's estimated right now that millennials only 10% of millennials have any type of life insurance coverage or protection for their family. That's frightening to me. My advice to my clients is you need at least 10 times your current salary in family protection and life insurance for your family. So if you're making $50,000 a year, you need $500,000, $500,000 of coverage for your family. Well, why? Why is that? Well, think about it. If the primary income earner dies suddenly, if COVID taught us anything, it's that life can be short and things can happen quickly and it can change. If it's the primary income earner and there's no life insurance in place, you have to replace that income. And what if someone was a stay-at-home mom and they didn't have any type of earned income, they didn't have a career? That is a dramatic impact to the family. So it's critically important. I want to talk about a couple of things here. There's two main types of life insurance. There's term life insurance and permanent, the two main types. Now, term insurance is the most popular because it's the cheapest and it's the easiest to get. But people don't realize term, there's something hidden in the word term. It is short for terminate. It is not a permanent policy, it's temporary. So you either buy a 10-year or a 20-year, sometimes a 30-year, but the cheapest and the one most people have is a 10-year term. Well, guess what? If you're 30 years old, you're probably still going to be alive at the end of that 10-year term, and that policy is not going to pay out unless you renew it and get another policy. So it's the cheapest, it's the easiest to get, but it terminates. The other one's permanent. Now, I own 10 life insurance policies. I know that may sound a little crazy. I've actually written 2 best-selling books, and I will tell you, Safe Money Matters, Finding Safe Harbor in a Storm-Filled World, and also Bulletproof, the Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. How important is life insurance for estate planning and income planning? I have a dedicated chapter in each book to life insurance. Not only life insurance, but tax-free assets. Life insurance is tax-free. It's critically important because, and of my 10, 7 of my 10 policies are permanent. People will say, well, that's more expensive. I can't afford that. Here's the key thing to remember. What is the most important life insurance policy you own? The one that's still in force the day you die. right? If it's not enforced the day you die, then it didn't matter. And a lot of times on a term policy, it's terminated, you don't have it, there's no coverage. So wasn't that more expensive? You paid for it and you never used it. A permanent policy is going to pay out, and it is going to be a tax-free benefit to your family. And here's some other key things to a permanent policy. They have ancillary benefits, things like, it kind of acts like similar to a long-term care policy. It can have critical illness components, chronic illness, heart attack, stroke, cancer, benefits that are attached to a life policy that people don't realize. They also build up cash value inside them, and when you take that as a loan from a permanent policy, it is tax-free, and a lot of people use that in their retirement planning from their life policies. So it's critically important. Make sure that you have life coverage for your family. So vow to be financially open and honest, vow to communicate, vow to plan together, and also vow to protect your family with the right type of life policy.